You know, you see going out of business signs everywhere these days. But there's one company that's flipping that script entirely. Ollie's Bargain Outlet isn't just getting by, it's expanding at a record-breaking pace. Today, we're going to unpack their unique blueprint for winning in a market where so many others are just failing.
So the big question is, how are they doing it? While everyone else seems to be shrinking, Ollie's is on an absolute tear. Let's break down exactly how they're pulling it off.
Let's start with a really big number, 86. That's how many new stores Ollie's opened this year alone. That isn't just growth, it's a company record. And it signals some serious ambition. And hey, it's not just about opening a bunch of empty buildings, right? You gotta fill them. A 30% jump year over year in new loyalty members shows they're building a dedicated fan base right alongside that massive physical footprint.
So to really get how this all works, we've broken their strategy down into 5 key parts. We'll start with their booming results, then look at how they literally grow from the ashes of other retailers, recruit their loyal Ollie's army, master the art of the deal, and finally build a financial fortress.
All right, first up, a bargain retailer's boom. Before we dive into the how, let's just set the stage with the results, because the numbers they're putting up are, well, they're pretty wild in today's market.
Just take a look at their third quarter results. Net sales shot up nearly 19%. But get this, their actual profit, their net income, jumped an incredible 29% compared to last year. I mean, numbers like that, they make the entire industry sit up and take notice.
So how do they get that kind of growth? Well, it all starts with a strategy we're calling growth from the ashes. And this is all about their super aggressive and, frankly, really clever real estate plan. You see, Ollie's thrives on what the industry calls second-generation real estate. Now, what does that mean? It's simple. When another retailer goes bust or shuts down a bunch of stores, Ollie's just swoops right in. They literally turn another company's failure into their own fuel for growth. So where are these spots coming from? A perfect example is what happened with Big Lots. When they went through bankruptcy, Ollie's was right there to scoop up a bunch of those old locations. They call these warm boxes, and it's a great term for it, because they come with a built-in customer base that's already used to bargain hunting right there. And the execution? Flawless. They got all 86 new stores for the year open before the big Q4 holiday rush. That's just smart. Okay, next up, recruiting the Ollie's army, because opening stores is one thing, but you have to get people to actually show up and shop, not just once, but over and over again. And that's where their loyalty program turns into a straight-up strategic weapon. And the power of this program, it's just undeniable. Look at this comparison. An Ollie's army member spends over 40% more every single visit than a regular shopper. Not only that, they come back way more often. So you see, turning a casual browser into a loyal army member isn't just a nice-to-have. It's absolutely fundamental to their whole business model. And here's where things get really interesting. You might have this picture in your head of who the typical Ollie's shopper is, right? But the data, it tells a totally different story. Look at who's joining the army the fastest right now. It's younger shoppers, that 18 to 34 crowd, and, get this, higher income households. This just proves their good stuff cheap message is hitting a nerve with a much wider audience than anyone expected. But you can have all the loyal shoppers in the world, and it won't matter if you don't have the right stuff on the shelves. And that brings us to the real secret sauce, the art of the deal. This is the heart of what makes Ollie's Ollie's. It's all about what they sell, and even more importantly, how they get their hands on it. Their entire company is built around this one concept, closeout buying. Basically, they are the absolute masters at finding and buying up other companies' mistakes. Their overstocks, their discontinued items, all the stuff from bankruptcies. And they get it for pennies on the dollar. This lets them sell brand name stuff for way less than those fancy stores. And it creates this addictive treasure hunt vibe for customers. You seriously never know what you're going to find. So what kind of treasures are people digging up right now? Well, this past quarter, the big winners were things you might expect, like seasonal goods for Halloween and Christmas, but also everyday essentials like food, hardware, and stationery. This just shows their closeout model can flex to meet pretty much any consumer need. And you don't have to take my word for it. The CEO, Eric Vandervalk, explains it perfectly. He says their deal flow, their ability to get new stuff, is strongest when the rest of the retail world is struggling. Now, think about that for a second. A tough economy, which is bad for almost everyone else, is actually a good thing for Ollie's. It's like this counter-cyclical engine that just fuels their entire business. So you take the clever real estate, you add the loyal customer base, and you mix in that unique merchandising. What do you get? Well, you get what we're calling a financial fortress. This is where we see how all those pieces come together to create an unbelievably powerful financial position. The ultimate proof is always in the forecast, right? Because they've been doing so well, they actually raised their expectations for the full year. Across the board, they're now expecting higher total sales, better growth in their existing stores, and higher profits. You know, when a company does this, it's a massive vote of confidence. It's them telling the world, our strategy's working and we know it. And here's the engine that lets them be so aggressive. Their balance sheet is an absolute rock. We're talking over $432 million in cash, and get this, practically no long-term debt. That's the kind of financial firepower that lets you jump on those real estate deals or those huge closeout buys the second they pop up. The company's CFO, Robert Helm, he just sums up their whole philosophy perfectly. He says they're committed to a fortress balance sheet because it helps drive our business. So it's not just a safety net, right? It's a strategic weapon. It's what enables everything else they do. So there you have it. That's the blueprint. Find opportunity in other people's failures, build a fanatical army of customers, and master the art of the deal. And with 75 new stores already on the books for next year, the big question is, can this model just keep on firing? Based on everything we're seeing, Ollie's isn't just surviving the retail storm, they're actually using the wind to go faster.